welcome you this morning. My name is Bob Heisman. I am a pastoral advisor to the Selah board. I'm also the pastor at Heritage Christian Reformed Church, where God chose a couple of women to lead this Selah ministry into existence, and has been adding to those numbers for years. And so we're very thankful that you are here, and we want to give God thanks for this gathering and for the mission that we share together, and we want to thank you for being here today. As we pray, just this verse from Psalm 46, the Message paraphrase, reminds us of our God and our safe place. The psalmist writes, "God is a safe place to hide, ready to help when we need him. We stand fearless at the cliff edge of doom, courageous in sea storm and earthquake." Let us turn to him together in prayer this morning. Oh God, we thank you that you are a safe place to which we can run. We thank you for calling Selah Powers into being years ago, and for the good work that you have done through this ministry. We thank you for each and every person who has received your tender, loving care, your encouragement, and your gift of life. We pray for flourishing for the days ahead. We pray for your promises to be kept, and we pray that again and again that those who are injured or abused will find a safe place in you. Thank you for this good food and fellowship that we have been able to share, and thank you for the mission that we hear about today. We ask this all in Jesus' precious name. Amen.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm Vicki Williams, one of the founders of Selah College. And I want to begin by thanking you for taking time out of your day to be here this morning, or taking time to grow up, to stand up, and for believing in the work that we do through Selah Powers. I also want to say a special thank you to all of our sponsors and to all of you for supporting us in so many ways. Without your support, we could not continue to do our mission, which is to help those who are suffering from domestic abuse. Today is October 1, and it marks the start of Domestic Violence Awareness Month, a month dedicated to bringing awareness to the epidemic of abuse that affects so many people in our communities. But although October is the official month of awareness for those involved in this work, the need for action is year-round. Domestic violence does not take a break. And unfortunately, the need for help far outweighs the resources in any community. It can be easy for us to think that domestic abuse is rare, that it doesn't happen around us. We might think it's something that we see in a movie or read in a book, but statistics would tell you differently. 1 in 3 women, 1 in 7 men, and 1 in 3 adolescents will suffer some type of domestic or dating violence in their lifetime. That means that it's highly likely that somebody in your circle is experiencing this right now, and you just don't know who it is. Domestic abuse hides and it thrives in places you wouldn't expect it to. In your neighborhoods, in your schools, in your workplaces, in your places of worship, and even in your families. In Kent County alone, law enforcement agencies respond to more than 2,500 incidents of intimate partner domestic violence each year. Given that more than half of domestic violence incidents are not reported, the actual number of incidents in Kent County are very likely twice that number. That's why what we do is so important and matters so deeply. We're committed to being a part of the solution, to walking alongside people from the hard place of taking that first step to the other side when they can become who they were created, live into their gifts, and flourish in life. this time I want to get Sherry to come forward. She is our education coordinator, and she's going to tell you a little bit about what we offer in our classes and what we're looking forward to in those.
Thank you, and good morning. I have had the privilege of being part of Selah for about 4 years now, as in not many small organizations, wearing many hats along the way in different roles there. But since our founding in 2019, we've seen incredible progress, and the journey is a long way to go. From starting with just one person in our first class, we have now served over 450 women and children. This is a testament to the power of the local community who has surrounded us as we're part of this, and your commitment and unwavering support. We want to reach every person who's experiencing domestic abuse, even though they don't know that might be the support that they're looking for, because they don't always have bruises and broken bones. And so that's not what they're initially looking for help with. Currently, we run 4 regular classes each week, which adds up to over 200 classes per year that we're able to offer and provide. We do that both online and in person so that we can reach the most number of people in that opportunity. We also partner with 5 local counseling agencies, and so that gives us referrals for women who have that need, as well as providing us with a licensed therapist to co-lead each of our classes, along with a Selah facilitator. We are also excited to partner with local community businesses, medical facilities, churches, or other organizations to provide educational opportunities. The more friends and family members that we can educate and get this message out there, the more people can be lifted out of that fog of confusion and hopelessness and giving up. As one of our counselors always says in class, you can only do better when you know better. And the more people that we can help to know, the more people we can reach. We also provide one-on-one advocates tailored to each person's unique situation, because we believe in walking alongside our participants through every stage of their journey. We strive to connect individuals who contact us to local resources as needed, from everything ranging from emergency food and shelter to an employment agency who works with us, to financial and legal advisors. And we have a number of very, very generous partners who are willing to work with us by either coming to our classes and answer questions for the women there, or do one-on-one consults with people if that's a need that they have. So we've been very blessed in that way to find those partners. But these things only tell part of the story. What really matters are that the lives are being changed, the women and children are no longer alone, and the survivors are becoming thrivers as they find healing on their way out of isolation and fear. At Selah, we understand that domestic violence impacts the whole body of the person. And so the healing approach that we hope to offer would address the mind, the body, and the spirit of those who are looking to us for help. This year, we've been able to pilot several opportunities for women to reconnect with their bodies through healthy movement, through eating habits, education about restorative sleep, to empower them towards a healing change. And in February, I'm really excited that we're going to have the opportunity to host our first weekend Selah retreat for the women. And we are bringing in a guest speaker who will lead the women to focus on their minds so they could gain practical advice on how to see and love who they were and are created to be. We know that healing doesn't happen in isolation. That's why we place a strong emphasis on building a supportive, authentic community among the Selah participants. Because sometimes the most profound healing comes not from advice, but from being truly seen and heard, especially by someone who has walked in a similar path. There's a special kind of healing that happens when survivors come together, share their stories, and remind one another that you are not alone.
What I really love about Selah, and what I was searching for when I found Selah, was actually, I wanted to find a group of women that were going through something similar as me.
To have a group where I could come and I didn't have to explain the backstory, I didn't have to qualify, I could say the little things and they understood. It was extremely grounding in the midst of the confusion.
At Selah, we provide education, resources, and support for individuals experiencing domestic abuse. Selah is a safe space where every person can be heard and understood while finding help for the next step of their journey.
At Selah, we provide practical support and education to those that are seeking to understand difficult relationships. People can join classes that focus on understanding difficult relationship dynamics and understand healthy and unhealthy ways to interact. They can rebuild their confidence, and they can plan for a safe future. We equip friends, family members, and community organizations with tools to recognize abuse and respond in informed, supportive ways. Together, we create communities to understand, believe, and empower.
I have found myself, and I don't feel like I would have been able to do it without Selah.
Selah has been such a godsend because they understand and they're meeting women where they're at. And each of us, even in the journey, we can kind of be in the same place, but our journeys are all so unique. And just to have people that really get it and then give you that space.
Through Selah, it's been incredible to be able to learn together, to support each other, to shed tears, just to share our stories, whether it's just tidbits or sharing the really hard stuff.
The books that we've chosen to do and work through have just really helped with that healing.
Like, you won't have to go through it alone.
You're not alone.
You're not alone.
There will be so many people waiting with open arms to support you and walk with you on your journey.
People around and agencies around that will be more than happy to help you.
Just take one step, make one phone call, tell one person, email a counselor, and then tomorrow you can take another step.
Domestic abuse is much more common and much more complex than most people imagine. Statistics show that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 7 men will experience domestic abuse at some point in their lifetime. Even as many as 1 in 3 adolescents will experience teen dating violence. But these aren't just numbers. These are our neighbors, our co-workers, our friends, and even our family members. Yet so much remains unseen. That's because not all abuse leaves bruises. Not all abuse is physical. Psychological, emotional, and verbal abuse are just as damaging, but it's often left and done behind closed doors.
At Selah, we bring to light what's often kept in the dark. With compassion, clarity, and hope, we listen, support, and walk alongside those who need more information. We help them to take their next steps towards hope and healing.
No one should walk this journey alone. It's just too hard. But the good news is that together, we can make a difference, and we have the power to make change. With your support, we can change one life at a time by replacing fear with hope so that healing can begin. Please consider joining us on this mission, and together we can change our community one life at a time.
So the recurring theme is there for every woman is they're not alone. For someone to emerge stronger on the other side of domestic abuse, it is vitally important that they don't walk this road alone. And this is where you come in, because the story of abuse is never about just the victim. The ripple effects of domestic abuse reach far, far beyond any one person. Abuse infiltrates every system in that victim's life and community, and it affects their friends, their neighbors, their employer, their place of worship, and the justice system. Now I'm here to tell you that you cannot escape being part of one of those systems. That is why the story of domestic abuse is also about you. How each of these systems responds and how you choose to show up makes all the difference in the future of someone experiencing domestic abuse. Each of you has the ability to bring help, hope, and healing to someone experiencing domestic abuse. You have the power to create change and help build a path forward for those trapped in silence and fear. But this isn't just about a moment, it's about a journey. Walking alongside somebody in their healing isn't always easy. It takes patience, it takes compassion, and it takes courage. But your presence can be the defining moment in someone's story. The moment they realize that they're seen and they're heard and they're not alone. That somebody believes them and is willing to walk with them through all of the hard stuff. And I know this because I lived this in my own life. Over 20 years ago, I made the heart-wrenching decision to leave an abusive relationship. I know firsthand what it's like to be caught in the destruction and the devastation and to be paralyzed in fear and to not know what to do. Domestic abuse can break anyone. But the people who chose to walk alongside me made all the difference in my ability to get through. In fact, they are still a part of my support system, and many of them are here this morning. The first people I turned to help for over 20 years ago, when I knocked at their door, are here this morning. My family is here this morning. My employer, who broke the rules and let me not work Sundays so I could take a second job that I needed to have in the church, is here. The church that hired me and that became a place of healing, and the friends that stood around me in ways too many to mention are here this morning. And the Byron Center community leader who provided space and help so that we could start serving victims of domestic abuse here in Byron Center, she's here this morning. So you see, this story is about you too. It's about how you choose to show up, how you choose to stand along somebody on this road. It's if you choose to stand in the gap and make a space for healing and walk alongside the person in need, because like I said, it's not easy. Generally, it takes, on average, a person 7 times to leave for good. If you're choosing to walk alongside someone walking that journey, it's hard. It's hard to do that. It's a long journey. But now I'm asking you, what can you do? Are you a community leader who is willing to stand up in new and bold ways? Are you a friend or family member who's willing to show up with financial support, emotional support, childcare? Are you a church leader brave enough to stand up against abuse even when it gets really uncomfortable? Or are you an employer willing to accommodate a survivor who's juggling safety, healing, and work because they need multiple jobs to make ends meet? Will you help someone start their healing journey like others helped me start mine. Today's theme, Stronger Every Year, is not just a slogan. It's a reflection to what we have seen in the lives of our survivors. It's a tribute to the courage that it takes to take that first step, to ask for help, and to begin again. And it's a promise that with the right support, with compassion, education, and community, those victimized by domestic abuse don't just survive, they grow stronger. So today I invite you into our mission. I invite you to be a safety net for someone who needs you. Because by doing that, you're sending a powerful message. You're telling them that you see them, that they matter, and that you care, and that you're willing to be there for the long haul. Thank you again for coming this morning. I again appreciate the time that you took out of your morning to be here with us. Where we all come together, we can create healing and hope for people who feel that there is none. At this time, I would like to ask our board members and advisors, as well as my personal business mentor, to stand, because without them, we would not be here today. And I would like to invite Connie Sattler, our executive director. She's going to come up here and talk about what we're currently doing, where we're going, and how we are going to reach people here in Byron Center and beyond.
Thank you, Vicki. Thank you, everyone, for being here this morning. It's so exciting for us. I don't know if Vicki has already mentioned, this is our second annual celebration for Selah. So thank you for being a part of what we are doing here and the impact, and for taking time out of your busy days to hear just a little bit about the work that's been going on, likely in ways that you haven't even been aware of. And it's serious work, it's important work, but it's good work. And thank you for being part of it. I am Connie Sattler. I'm the executive director as of the beginning of last year. And it's been so exciting to see the work that God has been doing in the lives and in the community here in Byron Center. But my job for you this morning is to say, what's next? Okay, Selah, what you doing? Where do you go from here? It's been good work, but what's around the corner? What's next? So that's what I hope to share with you over the next few minutes. But I'm going to start with a question. Have you ever been in a really, really dark place? I'm not just talking like dark. I'm talking really, really dark. Like where you can't see your hand in front of your face. I have. And I want to share this with you for just a minute because my husband, this was many years ago, before kids, we were living in Atlanta, and our church group had this great idea that we were going to go to a cabin in the North Georgia mountains, have a little getaway, get to know each other a little bit better. We loved the idea. We said, let's go ahead and drive up there. But because of scheduling difficulties, the rest of the group was going to stay there that evening, and we were going, after everybody kind of got settled, we were going to leave and say goodbye, head back home. So we found our place beautiful. If you've ever been in the Georgia mountains, it's absolutely fantastic. It was probably the fall. The air was clear, but let me mention one thing as I was recalling this story. This was, did I say many years ago? Before cell phones that have torches in them that light up your way, before watches that have lights in them. This was the olden days, the 80s. All right? So we were there, we had a great time, went with our friends. They were getting settled in for the night. We said, well, we got to go. So we kind of went up the stairs and out the door, and there was a slight path before where we had parked our car. So we closed the door behind us, made sure it was locked. We take 3 steps. And I tell you, it was the darkest dark that we had ever experienced. And so we're standing there. We can't go back because we just locked the door. We knew our car was over there. We could feel the path under our feet, so we knew that we had kind of treaded out the right way. And we stopped, and we were like, okay, I can't see my hand. Can you see your hand? I can't see my hand. Like, we couldn't see. We're like, this is a real thing. You really can be in such a dark place, no stars, no lights, that you can't see your hand in front of your face. And as we were taking a quick assessment as to how we were going to find our car that was parked somewhere, my husband says, well, wait a minute. Look over there. And back in the 80s, there were cars that had those little lights on the dashboard that told you when you had set your car alarm. And in the farthest, faintest distance, there was a little red light that was blinking. And we were like, that's it. It was faint, barely perceptible in our normal everyday life. But I tell you, that little tiny light was enough for us to find our way. We could find our way through. So now you're wondering, why are you telling me that story? I love stories. But anyway, besides that, I'm sharing that with you today because I think the topic that we're talking about, domestic violence, can feel very vast, and it can feel very dark. And it is a very vast and dark subject. But I also want to bring encouragement and hope. That I know from personal experience that the faintest little light can provide direction even in the darkest of places. And that's what we're trying to do here at Selah. We are trying to encourage those who feel that they found themselves in the darkest places, that there is a place, there are people who understand and who are willing to offer just that little glimmer of hope. Now, I want to thank Vicki and Sherry and for those who participated in the video for talking about and setting the stage for domestic violence. This was a topic that before I joined Selah, I knew very little about. And it has been quite an education for me to come alongside the work that these women have been doing in our community. And what I've come to understand is that domestic violence flourishes in the darkness. In the darkness of isolation, shame, hurt, embarrassment, and threats. And yet in this darkness, Selah Empowers is that little light. We are stepping into the darkness with courage, with hope, with God's help to offer resources, to offer support, to come alongside people and to help them bravely face this darkness in which they find themselves. We offer classes about the darkness. We have organized partnerships with individuals and organizations in our community that can help support individuals who find themselves in the darkness. And we are strategically finding new ways to help, encourage, and bring hope and support to others who find themselves in this darkness. Now, as a staff, we think about this darkness every day. We have to. That's why we are a part of this. And we think about what light can Selah bring into this darkness that will make a difference. And this morning, I have the privilege to share with you some strategic initiatives that we believe, with your continued support and help, will make it possible for us to begin to shine that light a little bit stronger in our community. Now, it's as easy as A, B, C, and that's what I'm going to share with you this morning. The ABCs of Selah shining light in the darkness in the coming years. A is for amplify. Why did we choose to amplify? As you've already heard this morning, often victims are not even aware of how dangerous the situation is in which they find themselves. Or they are not aware that there are people and resources that are available and willing to help them in their situation. Our Amplify initiative, one of the key pieces of this is that we are designing a tool, a scorecard for victims, as well as for friends, family members, employers, friends at church, to do an assessment and to quickly and secretively gauge the seriousness of an individual's personal situation. The results may convey that the individual is just experiencing normal marital strife that we all experience. But it may also alert that there are some red flags of possible concern in this relationship. Or it will warn that this is a dangerous situation that needs intervention and help as soon as possible. Our scorecard results will direct individuals to our website where they will be able to access information about the situation. The information that we already teach in our classes will be available for those, not only those who are experiencing it, but also for their support group. A, amplify. B, bridge. Why bridge? Well, the darkness of domestic violence can be very isolating and a very lonely place. So imagine with me someone who's experiencing isolation who sees a bridge, or maybe multiple bridges that will connect them to help and hope. One of the bridges that we are investing in is a bridge that will be available 24/7 from a cell phone for individuals to reach resources from behind the closed door of a bathroom, in a park, on a walk, or maybe in a grocery store parking lot. Our bridges are going to point in 3 different directions. We're going to point people to our Selah sessions. These are courses. We offer courses right now, as you heard, in person and via Zoom online at days and times of the week. This bridge will give individuals access to courses that are available 24/7. Online learning. Anytime they could snatch a minute, a few minutes, an hour to get the information, it's going to be available to them on their phone. We want to bring that holistic healing that Sherry talked about, mind, body, and spirit, to them when they are able to access it. Self-paced, available anytime. Another bridge that we want to offer them is a bridge to a resource hub that we are developing, which is going to connect them to community resources, to other individuals, organizations in the community that can provide them with needed resources that they may need at that time. We want to work together. We've already been gathering this network of resources, and we want to make it available so that people can find the help they need when they need it. And lastly, the last bridge that's available to them is a bridge to a person. We've already heard that this is an isolating experience, that people can feel very lonely, and even online can feel like they're still very much alone. We are currently training a team of advocates. And let me just say, it's kind of exciting. Most of our advocates are women, and we have one gentleman, which is an amazing move for us, because what that means is that we will be able to assist and support the 1 in 7 gentlemen who are experiencing this awful thing, and not just the 1 in 3 women. So we're very grateful to God for that resource that's coming alongside, so that if someone reaches out to us and lets us know, male or female, that they would like to talk to someone, we have trained resources that can meet them, whoever they are. We want to make those advocates available. We want to be able to have individuals. We have individuals who are helping us, we said mind, body, spirit, with stress relief, with calming activities. Can we offer them some relaxation techniques if they're just under so much stress? We want to have an individual, have them be able to reach out for that, as well as spiritual directors. Because the hurt that comes from this abuse cuts across all those different dimensions, and we want to be sure that we meet them, mind, body, and spirit, and help them figure out the next steps. So the bridges are to our sessions, they're to our resource hub, and they're to our responders. Mind, body, spirit. B for bridge, holistic healing, utilizing cell phone technology for victims to discreetly be able to access information and help. Amplify and bridge, raise awareness. That's very, very important, as we've heard. They're going to draw people to our resources and to our site. The technology is going to be delivering the 24/7 content and linking individuals to real people. Our final initiative, the C, amplify, bridge, C is for collaborate. Because we recognize with this kind of planning that we can't and do not want to do this work alone. We can't do it. The darkness is too vast. But we've found that people want to come alongside and help us. So you might be thinking, okay, Sattler, this all sounds fine, but you've answered the who, you've answered the what, you've answered the where, you've answered the how. Okay, how? Wait a minute. How are we going to do this? How are we going to collaborate with such a big problem? How are we going to rise as a community of concerned leaders and business owners and concerned friends? How are we going to do this? Well, we've thought about that, and we have some ideas. So I'm going to encourage you as I kind of move into the section to go ahead in front of you. You all have a card. And I want to invite you to kind of come alongside some of our thoughts and ideas about how you can collaborate with us to shine a light in this darkness. First of all, we're going to invite you to pray. We believe in a big God. That big God was the one to shine the first light in the vast darkness. He's the one who can shine light on this problem. Please come alongside us in prayer. We know that with God, all things are possible. You'll also notice that there was a pin, a purple pin, at your place. This purple ribbon represents Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We invite you to wear the pin this week and to help us amplify, raise the awareness of the situation, our concern in the community. Let people know there are resources and people who are willing and interested in helping. You'll see an invitation to host. One of the ways you can host is if you're one of our local community business owners, please host us to come to a luncheon or maybe to a business meeting. We would love to come alongside and share this information with you and your team. Maybe you're a people person. You could host us too. We have something we call Selah circles. People in our community who just know other people who just want to share about a mission and a need in the community. We'd love you to be a Selah Circle partner. Invite us to come to your place, host us somewhere, and we will come and share with a small group about the initiatives, about Selah, and about the help that we need if some of the others would like to help. Contribute. Maybe you don't own a business. Maybe you don't have any time, and maybe you don't have any friends. But if you have money, we can work with that. And lastly, we invite you to take. What's that mean? As you came in, you may or may not have noticed that we have a table of resources over here in front of that bar area. And we want to invite you to take some of our materials. Maybe you're a business owner. We've got, for retail owners, we've got those stand-up signs that you can place by a cash register. Again, raising awareness for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Maybe you work at a place or church, maybe with public bathrooms with doors. We have some bathroom door hangers that you could hang information about domestic violence there. We have posters in a workroom that you can hang that have some information that show our power and control wheel. We invite you to just come over. There's a sign-up sheet as well if there's something you'd be interested in and you could help us. So please spend some time taking. We invite you to do that this morning. We are so excited that you all have joined us. Thank you for caring about what we are trying to do, for believing in the mission that started just a few years ago and really seems to be gaining momentum. Thank you for sharing your concern and for considering how you might be able to support us in going forward. Wear your pin proudly this month and help us amplify awareness of this darkness that's in our communities. Help us bridge individuals from isolation and fear to community and strength. Help be one of the little lights that flicker in the darkness of our community. I'd like now to invite Vicki to come up here with me. And as you're dismissed, we would love to meet you, to say thank you. We've left time in our program here this morning for you to say hello and goodbye to the people who are at your table, to come up and meet us, ask us any questions you have, and to take the time to review any of the materials that are at the table. So please, as you're leaving and as you're dismissed, we invite you to mark your calendar, October 1, 2026, for celebration number 3, because you're all invited. So thank you all for coming, and have a blessed day. Great. You're dismissed, and we'll see you next year.